If you've been reselling long enough, you'll know that mistakes can happen, and sometimes we can do things to our account that we don't know at the time is really hurting our account. And I'm going to tell you about my situation here on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and yet another video. Wanted to talk to you about what I discussed on the live stream. So if you don't watch my lives, or maybe just didn't get through the live or weren't with us on Monday when we usually do our lives, and sometimes on Friday, then you missed, I thought, was a pretty good conversation and a realization that I made about my account. And I'm kind of bummed out, if I'm being honest with you, because you know it's one of those things where you guys know, and if you don't know, I'll tell you, I make all kinds of adjustments throughout the year to improve the performance of my eBay store. And normally I utilize my traffic reports. I really like to dive down deep into maybe my spreadsheets and see exactly what the changes that I'm making is doing to my store. Well, I failed to do that this time, and I really think it hurt my year. So this change that I made has everything to do with my handling time. Now, many people say, what's the big deal? You know, give yourself that extra day of handling and you'll have less stress and less pressure of getting that package out by, you know, I had my listing set up for same day. I've had it since 2019, since I was full-time, and I really did well. And I didn't think that changing my handling times would be that big of a deal, because you know I go on vacation every so often, and when I do go for more than 3 or 4 or 5 days, I'll set my handling time for like 5 days, right? So that the maximum is I will be shipping that item the following week when I get back, because eBay doesn't count weekends, count business days. And as I get closer to my return date, I'll adjust my handling time back towards, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then same day. That's what I did forever, and it worked out well for me. And I was still making sales with, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5 days handling time. And a lot of that had to do with, you know, having good prices and all the stuff we talk about on this channel. Well, fast forward to last October, and I think it was probably like the mid to late October, and it may have been on one of these lives. You know, I'm not going to go back and listen to all my lives. There's just so much to listen to. But on one of those programs, I had talked about my carrier situation. Now, my carrier situation last year was entirely different than my mail carrier situation this year, in that last year my carrier kept coming earlier and earlier, okay? And of course, some days I try to get my shipping done at night, and others I just said, you know what, I'm going to take care of it in the morning. So by the time I got to it in the morning, my carrier's already picking up, and it's like, well, I guess I'm making a trip to the post office. And in that discussion with you guys, it was suggested, hey, I do one day. And a lot of you were saying I do one day handling and it just takes the pressure off. And a lot of you guys can't do same day. You guys are doing one day because you have, you know, other commitments like your job. Maybe you have a situation with the kids, whatever it is that prevents you from getting your stuff out before your carrier gets there. And then you do the one day, and it just makes selling on eBay a little bit more feasible, because you know your Mercari, your Poshmarks, they don't breathe down your neck. They don't even give you the option to set a handling time. They just expect you to have it out within like 3 business days. So I get it. I get the need to set your handling time to beyond same day for a lot of you. But for me, this is my full-time job. This is what I do. There's no excuse in my mind, and this is all in retrospect, there's really no excuse for me not having same day. There isn't. And if I'm being honest with myself, this is my job. This is my livelihood. And being that I'm full-time, I need to make time to get these packages done, say the night before, or at the very least as early in the morning as possible. But instead, I listened. And of course, I like to listen to you guys. Of course, I don't have all the answers. I do rely on you guys a lot to help me navigate through my own business. And it's a learning experience, not just for you. You guys are always, watching the videos, thanking me for the time that I give to put out this material. But, selfishly, I'm learning from you guys as well. And it's sort of a give and take, and that I certainly appreciate it. And that's a lot of the driving factor to get off this eBay island and talk to you guys about my situations. But in this case, I listened to many voices, many people telling me that same day, didn't need to do it. One day is where it's at, gives you that extra cushion. And it really did help me with my carrier situation, because if she came to the house and I wasn't quite done with my shipping, I'd still do my shipping and just have it ready for tomorrow. And it would fall inside eBay's required guidelines of having it shipped out within the one business day. So all was good with that. But what I didn't realize, and why I'm upset with myself, is the fact that I did not do my due diligence to see what is the impact that this is having on my sales. Now, I was having about an average October for myself, a little over 8,000 in sales. And I think it was around 9,000 in sales. And I made that change, and I didn't realize that November, which is really supposed to be historically a better sales month, well, I was at like 8,500. And, here I am thinking, well, bad economy. December rolls around, a little bit worse, not so bad, but not great either. And then January of this year hits, and we're at like under 6,000 in sales. So that trend continued throughout the year. And I was finding ways, at least scrambling around, to try to figure out why my sales were lower. And I was still buying the Amazon lots. I was still buying the same kind of merchandise. So in the back of my mind, I'm writing it off as, it's an economy thing. And I think sometimes I tend to read a lot into stuff, thinking that that's probably why my sales are down. What I failed to do was I'm going to make this change. I'm going to change from same day to one day handling. And let's monitor and see what happens. And if I do see a decrease in sales, let's try changing it back to see if that helps any. It's like a trial and error type thing. But in this case, I just did the trial and I didn't look for any error. And that after 10 months, really, actually after a year, really, has hurt my account. Now, I recently just, said to myself, let's see what happens if I change to same day again. With my new situation, I don't have to worry about having my stuff out like crack of dawn. My carrier is going to be here either at 3:30, 4 o'clock, or not at all. I'm going to have to take it in before 5 anyway. So I changed back the same day, and wouldn't you know it, my sales just for no reason took off. And we can kind of look at sales and say, well, that's an indicator. It is kind of an indicator, but for me, it's the traffic. How's the traffic looking? And now, mind you, a couple months ago, I had 700 and something items in my store. Now I was at like 525 before I made this change. And I'm still listing every day. I'm still making sales, and I'm getting around 100,000 impressions per day on a 500 item store, which is a lot more than I was getting before, about 75,000 impressions. And I'm making a ton of sales. I'm making my average was like 6 or 7 sales a day, which I guess is okay. But I'm around 9 or 10 now. And I have a lot of packages going out. Like last night, I had a lot more packages. I think I had 12 packages today. And I'm not complaining about that. Trust me. I'm grateful, and I feel blessed that I was able to figure it out before the meat and potatoes part of Q4 hits us. But when I look back on it, let's just say I lost $1,000 a month, and I'm being conservative. I lost about $10,000 this year, and that's profit, I think. And it's just a guesstimate. I might be off. Maybe I might be over exaggerating it. I might be understating it. But there's a dollar amount there, and I will never be able to place my a true estimate on exactly how much I lost but I lost some money there. And I am convinced there is no reason, no reason at all, where I should have the kind of sales that I'm having right now. At this point of the conversation, I've listed 15 items today to bring myself back over the 500 item mark in my store. And again, I'm getting more sales, and the numbers game just doesn't make sense I'm getting more views. So in theory, the more items you have in your store, the more opportunities you have to get views, and my views should be going down. My number of sales should be going down, and I'm not wishing that upon myself, believe you me, but at the same time, I'm always looking at ways to get better, and only having the value, the amount of value I have in my store and the amount of items I have in my store right now in October, and it's not where I want it to be. And I'm really disappointed in myself, because see, all those sales that I missed out on is opportunities to buy more inventory. Now I've been buying inventory as we've gone along, but it's more money that I've had to work with if I would have just known. And of course, sometimes we can beat ourselves up. So, I'm sharing my frustrations at myself with you. I'm being candid with you. Certainly not perfect, and it is certainly 100% a learning experience that, when you make a change, when you make any change to your store, any of the changes we discuss on this channel, you should really be in tune with, okay, before I make this change, here's where I am in, let's just say, views. Forget sales, okay? Because the changes you make in eBay will only affect your views. At least eBay is going to give you more traffic or less traffic if you do a certain thing versus not doing a certain thing, if that makes sense. So I can't get so focused on the sales. The sales are just a benefit of getting the extra traffic. If I've done everything I'm supposed to do in my listing, then the sales will take care of themselves. I just want to find a way to manipulate eBay to give me more traffic. And I really think that this handling time, and some of you guys can just shake your head at me and think I'm a moron, and that's fine. You guys are allowed to do that as long as it's respectful. Then you know what? Hey, it is what it is. But when the data tells me otherwise, if the data tells me I've done nothing more than change this one thing, and that's the handling time, and then my sales take off for no reason at all, and we're not talking one day here of sales and then no sales. I'm saying consistent. I woke up this morning to $200 in sales, and I just don't. I'm shaking my head. Things that have been sitting in my store for months are now getting traction, and the only change I've made is that change. So going forward, it's definitely keeping an eye on, if I make this change, what does it do to my traffic? Does it raise my traffic? Does it lower my traffic? And honestly, I'm growing from this. I'm very frustrated by it, but I'm more motivated by it than frustrated. And I hope that me sharing this candid experience with you, just having a sit down and telling you my opinion on things, my hope is that I've given you no reason to distrust me, and I'm giving this to you at the cost of my time. And I hope that you guys see that I'm really just trying to help. And at times I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to trip over myself. And that's why I made this channel, so you can actually see my successes. And of course, in this case, a failure, and to grow along with me and not repeat the same mistakes that I've made in this particular case. So a lot of times people will poo-poo the idea of really getting in there and knowing where you're at with your traffic. I think it's really important. The more in tune you are with how much your margins are, how much your cost of goods are, how much traffic your store normally gets, and then you make a change or two to your store and then go back in and see what's the difference in traffic now, I think that's going to help most resellers at least develop a baseline, so that if you do make changes or if you do have a situation, you can tell how much that's affect you, either in a positive way or in a negative way. And if it's in a negative way, that gives you some data to then jump on maybe undoing what you did before this crash in traffic, or do more of what's given you a higher return in traffic. So yeah, that's just me ranting, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you today. Please do me a favor, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this particular situation. I do know there's a lot of you guys that think, they're probably shaking your head and saying, look, you're reading too much into this. One day is sort of the sweet spot. I don't see any difference, and I didn't really notice a whole lot of difference either. But when you look at it at on a large scale over a 1 year period, it's jarring, and it's not the same. And I don't know if I would have looked at it in November, I would have seen a decrease in sales by about $1,000, and it should have gone up. That might have, had I been looking for it, and I wasn't. I don't know why I wasn't. Had I have been looking for that, maybe I would have gone back and undid what I did, and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So comment down below if you want to let me know what kind of a fool I am. In the comments, do it in a nice way, because we're not here to really beat each other up. I do enough of that to myself. So you know, I think I deserve a little love here now and then from you guys, and some support. So this is one of those days I'm not feeling too good about myself, but I'm going to keep plugging along. I'm going to keep I have no choice, right? This is my business, this is my livelihood. So I just really need to do better, and I hope you guys stick with me through this adventure and this journey. And I'm going to continue bringing you guys videos and information that I feel will help you guys and benefit most sellers, and especially the newer ones, because I think a lot of the newer sellers really are very impressionable. And I'd hate for you guys to run out and pay, you know, $39.95 for the same information that you can find online and through this type of channel. So stick with me. I'm here for you guys, and thank you for being there for me. But do me a favor, hit that like button. If you enjoyed the content, if you like this type of video, if you just enjoy the channel, hit the subscribe button. I'd certainly appreciate that. And if you want to be notified when I go live, which is usually Friday afternoons and Monday and Friday afternoons, please hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time I just decide to do that. And we had a really good live stream on Monday, had over 150 people watching, had a lot of good discussion. When you're having that type of discussion on these live streams where you're really engaged, it only felt like I was talking to you guys for like 15-20 minutes, to be honest with you, because time just flew. So I really enjoy the time talking to you guys. I really enjoy the support you guys give in your comments, just the feedback that you guys give in your comments. It keeps me going. And you know, I just wanted to talk to you about that. If you are experiencing slow sales, do yourself a favor. You know, if you have the time, if you have the wherewithal to maybe get your items shipped maybe the night before, set your baseline for 9 a.m. like I did. I did 9 a.m. same day. So 9 a.m. same day, if they haven't bought that item, it goes out tomorrow. So at least I have a very safe baseline. It's going to go, maybe be one of the last ones that I get shipped, but as long as I get that done that day, if they bought it before 9 a.m., then I'm good to go, and it's helping my sales. And I'm thinking, if you have the right kind of items and you've done everything that you can do within your ability, and you're still not getting the sales that you think you should be getting, try it. Try lowering your handling time by a day. Maybe you're at 3 days, bring it down to 2. But do something. Don't just sit there hoping for change to happen just because you want it to happen. eBay is looking for you to be proactive on their platform, and this is just one thing that you can do to show eBay that you're willing to work with them and to do what they want you to do. But yet, without the sign being here, it's just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent Tuesday, and we will talk to you again very soon.